Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Hope that you guys are enjoying your weekend. So the Weekend View is returning for its second season. It aired last season. So today it is everybody except for Whoopi, and the ladies come out. They actually meet outside except for Joy. Um, and then Joy comes out, and today she has on slippers. You guys remember yesterday she was barefoot. So you know what? If I'm still in my 80s, because I believe Joy's 82, so if I'm still in my 80s and I'm working, then I feel like a slipper or two can be okay on occasion. If ABC and their executives don't mind, then neither do I. So let's go ahead and get into the opening story. It is Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. So congratulations to the newlywed or the newly engaged, I should say, couple. But they are going to be married soon. And I'm so excited for their engagement. I feel like this is definitely a bright spot and just a whirlwind of bad news that we've had recently. So, Taylor and Travis, they go on Travis's brother Jason, his podcast, and they're just sharing their love story, how they met and what they love about each other. Taylor says that Travis makes her laugh. And I mean, of course, humor is very important in a relationship, but it's good. It's good to see that, Taylor found her happily ever after, right? One of the hallmarks of her career was that she was best known, or at least her rise to fame came from her songwriting that was inspired by past relationships. Right? She's like, we will never, ever, ever get back together. And so just to, see her growth, not only as a songwriter and a singer and artist, but now that she has found the love of her life, it's inspiring. So the ladies just talk about, how inspired they are by their love story. And of course, with the humor that that only Joy can give, she talks about, Elizabeth Taylor and her multiple husbands, because Sunny was talking about Taylor's ring and how gorgeous it is. It's definitely a classic old fashioned style, but of course, multiple carats because they're both rich. Taylor's a billionaire, and Travis, he's not doing too shabby himself. He's a multimillionaire, but her ring is beautiful. And Joyce says that despite divorcing her first husband, she made a whole play about him. She's like, I'll always love him. And I actually appreciate that because I feel like your first love is so important. Joyce said that she was really young when she got married. It was during a really scary time in American history, but she was in her 20s. And, even though your first love may not work out, um, many times, people grow and evolve as we do as human beings. But you'll always have, a place in your heart for that person, even if you love them from afar. So I can definitely appreciate that sentiment. We don't see Joy, be sentimental often. Like most of the times when she's talking about her first husband, is usually not always in the um, positive light. But again, that typically happens when you might get young, you might get married young, and you're still trying to figure each other out. I mean, as human beings, our brain isn't even fully developed until we're 25. So to be married before that is it's taking a chance, right? It's like a roll of the dice. My first cousin, I mean, she married her high school sweetheart, and they've been together forever. They were each other's first, love, first everything, and so they've been together since they were they were kids, right? They did as they started dating. I believe they were like sophomores in high school. But anyway, long story short, they've never had another relationship, and they never dated anybody else. They're married with four kids, and they're happy, and I don't feel like they're wanting to be with anybody else. So Those type of love stories are rare, but they are out there. And so I commend Joy for, at least giving it a shot, right? I mean, with love, there's always a risk, but the reward is so great. So, congratulations to Taylor and Travis. I know Taylor kissed a lot of frogs, but she's finally found her Prince Charming. All right, so moving on to the next story. We have Anna Wintour, who was editor in chief of Vogue. She started the magazine and she was the founding editor in chief. As you guys know, or you may not know, but most people do, the movie, right? Meryl Streep's character from The Devil Wears Prada was supposedly, allegedly, right? Don't come after me, Anna. But folklore, allegedly it's based off of Anna Wintour. And it's so funny because I'll have to link it in the description, the YouTube video where Meryl, goes up and she actually meets, Anna. And so everyone's kind of in the office, like, kind of acting like Meryl is her character. You know what I mean? Like getting everything out of the way, shuffling, trying to basically get into position. Um, and get ready for battle, so to speak, when the head honcho editor in chief comes to the magazine. But instead of runway, it's actually Vogue. And so she meets Anna face to face. And it's really, sweet and heartwarming. So if you guys want to see that video, that YouTube, I'll link it in the description. But they're just talking about how Anna has decided that now is the time to step aside and pass the baton to her successor. And while she's going to resign from her official duties as editor in chief, she's not giving complete reins over to, the young woman who is replacing her. She's actually going to be down the hall. So, Anna, she also created the Met Gala, which is, a huge night for fashion. So, I don't know if I would feel comfortable working with, someone who says that they're resigning or stepping down from a position of power, but yet still kind of down the hall. So I don't know if it's this generation, like the boomer generation that Anna's a part of, because a lot of people are saying how boomers either can't afford to retire or they just don't want to give up that power. But the movie, The Devil Wears Prada, and they're actually making a sequel. It's filming right now, so I'm looking forward to seeing that. But it just basically talked about how, Miranda Priestley, the fictional character, was, I mean, she was, very cold and calculating, but um, she would just give, her staff like these almost impossible tasks. And so if it is based off of Anna, allegedly, Anna Wintour, then her being down the hall is just, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't like to work under that type of micromanaging style of having a boss like that. I actually have dealt with a manager like that in the past, in college, and I mean, like it was crazy because she would sometimes call me on like a Sunday after church. Like it was just the craziest thing, and it was like more than one Sunday, by the way. And she would talk about how her husband and her teenage sons weren't really paying her attention. And I'm thinking to myself, like, that's what people usually have friends or hobbies for. But anyway, it wouldn't be my cup of tea, but congratulations to, the Vogue staff. I hope that Anna is not still micromanaging from down the hall, but if she is, I wish her replacement all the best. And so the last segment talks about Selena Gomez, and she is on Amy Poehler's podcast, Good Hang, and she's talking about whether or not it's important to be on time. So most of the time, like jobs in corporate America or just the business industry, typically, in general, you need to be on time or even be, up to like 15 minutes early is a good cushion. Um, to just show professionalism and respect for not only your job but for your coworkers and your staff. And Selena and Amy were just talking about how in the entertainment industry, um, one would think that you need to be on time, and but there are people who you know talk about being late really a lot of times. Um, then they cut to the segment where Brian, who's the executive producer of The View, he he times all the ladies, and because Sarah Haynes, she says that she's always on time, but then Joy comes a few minutes later, and then Sunny comes after that to their 8:30 meeting, and Alyssa, she says she grabs a coffee, and she comes to the meeting at like she's the last member to come. So it's just but their show doesn't start till 11, and so Sarah, on one hand, she's like, listen, I'm always on time. Time marches forward no matter what. But Alyssa, who's the last to arrive, she's like, listen, it's a live show, so as long as we're here at 10:50, it's fine. So I have to be honest, I'm really enjoying Alyssa this season. She's been my fan favorite so far this opening week. Last season, not so much. The especially like the first season that she came on. I know typically when people first learn a job, and I can't imagine, of course, jumping into succeeding. Like Megan McCain, she was very controversial. But Alyssa's first season, I felt like she was trying to like always interrupt the other, season panelists. She wasn't my favorite, but this season I'm really enjoying her. So anyway, you guys, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk with you in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye.